Hello, this is another video of the Triangles of the Neck series, and it is the second video. In this video, I will talk about the triangles of the neck anterior triangle. So, anterior triangle, as have discussed already, that it is anterior to this sternocleidomastoid muscle. Here is the anterior triangle. So, anterior triangle, like posterior triangle, it has also got certain boundaries. So, posteriorly, anterior triangle is bounded by the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid, and in the median plane we have got an imaginary line which is bisecting the neck into two, and it starts from the symphysis manti and then hyoid bone and downwards in the median plane till the sternum. So posteriorly bounded by the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid, anteriorly an imaginary line bisecting the neck, and superiorly this triangle is bounded by the uh, inferior border of the mandible or base of the mandible till angle of the mandible, from angle of the mandible till the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Here we have got an imaginary line. So in total, the total boundaries of the anterior triangle would be bounded posteriorly by the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid. In the midline, there is an imaginary line which divides the neck into two. Then superiorly, it is bounded by the inferior border of the mandible or base of the mandible till angle of the mandible, and from angle of the mandible, it is bounded by an imaginary line between the angle of the mandible and sternocleidomastoid muscle. So this was, now this anterior triangle is further divided into certain triangles which are digastric submental triangle, then digastric or mandibular triangle, then carotid triangle, then muscular triangle. So this submental triangle is again, here you can see the small triangular portion. This triangle actually, it these are the two anterior bellies of digastric muscle. This muscle has got two bellies. This is anterior belly of digastric muscle, and here you see the posterior belly of digastric muscle, and here in the center we have got intermediate tendon. So superior fleshy part, posterior fleshy part, then again in between tendinous part which is intermediate tendon. So between the two bellies of digastric muscle, anterior belly of digastric muscle, and the hyoid bone, we have got submental triangle. So submental triangle, like look at it, it has got base which is bounded by the hyoid bone, then it has got the right and left borders which are formed by the anterior bellies of digastric, and in the midline these two bellies, they meet each other and form the apex, base, right border, left border. And here you see in the background, this whole muscle is actually mylohyoid muscle. So mylohyoid muscle, they look carefully, these muscles, these are oblique fibers which meet on two halves. We have got two bellies of mylohyoid muscle. They meet each other in the median plane in the midline. Here you can see a faint white line. This is median raph of the mylohyoid muscle. So floor is formed by the mylohyoid muscle and hyoglossus as well, which I would be showing in another section. So this was the submental triangle. Now the mandibular submandibular triangle or digastric triangle. This is anterior belly of digastric, and this is posterior belly of digastric, and this is the base of the mandible. So this triangle is basically bounded by the two bellies of anterior and posterior belly of digastric. Here you can see, and then it is bounded by the inferior border of the mandible. So this is another triangle you can see, and here you can see as well, it has got it is almost filled by a gland which is called submandibular gland. In the background here you can see another same mylohyoid muscle, which is actually the floor of the digastric triangle. Now we have got another triangle which is called carotid triangle. This carotid triangle has got certain boundaries. Anterior border is formed by the superior belly of the omohyoid muscle, and posteriorly it is bounded by the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscle, posteriorly anteriorly superior belly of omohyoid, and then it has got another boundary which is superior boundary, and it is formed by the stylohyoid muscle. This is here you can see this muscle is getting attached onto the hyoid bone, and posteriorly it is getting its origin from the styloid process. So this is stylohyoid muscle, and again it has got a posterior belly of the digastric. So in the here you can see this is actually carotid triangle. Why? Because it has got carotid sheath as a content. So internal carotid artery, internal jugular vein, and vagus nerve, and lymph node, deep cervical lymph nodes, and these are all basically contents. And then we have got another triangle which is a muscular triangle. Muscular triangle is bounded superiorly by the superior belly of the omohyoid muscle here. Then inferiorly it is bounded by the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid, and in the midline it is bounded by again same imaginary line which is bisecting or dividing the neck. So between this is triangle is like this imaginary line in the midline, then superior belly of omohyoid, then inferior belly of sternocleidomastoid. So this triangle is actually, the content of this triangle are infrahyoid muscle plus thyroid gland. So these are the contents. So again I would definitely go here. You see this muscle is called inferior pharyngeal constrictor muscle and thyroid membrane. This thyroid membrane and inferior constrictor and superior constrictor as well, small part of it. So these muscles form the actually floor of the this carotid triangle. And here submandibular triangle, this is posterior belly of anterior belly of digastric, and this is posterior belly of digastric, and this is intermediate tendon. This intermediate tendon is held in position by means of a sling which is derived from the deep cervical fascia. And here is mylohyoid, which is actually floor of the submandibular, and here you can see hyoglossus muscle. This muscle is also actually the hyoglossus muscle is forming the floor of the submandibular. So this was brief about the triangles of the neck. In the next video I would be definitely doing the contents of the these triangles. Thank you very much.